Hey everybody, welcome back to another weekly TFP live stream. My name's Brandon.
This is Pat.
I'm Josh.
And we've got someone new joining us. We've got Brian over here. Yeah, Brian is a longtime customer of ours. He's helping us on the radio side of the house. Obviously, a lot of you have heard about Tyler and his situation that he's going through right now. I've got a huge update that I can't wait to share with you. Very positive news. But yeah, Brian very graciously offered that he would come in, help us out, step in. He had a little bit of experience doing this in some previous things that he'd done. So very, very nicely offered to come in and help us produce the show because it takes a lot to wrangle these guys. It's like herding 3-year-olds. It's very 100%. Tough. It's very tough.
Wouldn't want to be in that
no,
position.
That is not a competitive sport I'd want to try. Now, tactical games, that'll be another one.
100%.
Do you know anything about that? Have you heard?
Have you ever tactical game?
Have you ever tactical game?
I've dabbled.
He's dabbled a little bit. We'll get there in a minute. And Josh has some awesome inventory updates and some sponsorship updates. Do we want to get right into that? Who's our sponsor for tonight?
Our sponsor for tonight's live stream, our official sponsor for tonight's live stream is Mr. John Gotham of GHA Services,
Nice.
LLC. GHA Services does CNC service and repair, machine leveling, as well as installs, preventative maintenance, and coolant tank cooling. So
Nice.
for all of your CNC service and repair needs, please check out GHA Services, LLC, our friend John Gotham.
So if you own a lathe, a mill, if you own like cool man stuff to get things done, hit him up and he will make your stuff better or install a new machine or service your old one. He does cool, man stuff.
Official sponsor of tonight's live stream because he donated to the 22 to none fun run.
Yeah.
So he was one of our major sponsors for the fun run. That's coming up on 14 November.
14
Nice.
November.
Nice.
Virtual fun run.
Coming up.
Virtual, yes.
Coming up. Nice.
We can talk more about that later.
100%.
Yeah. So I promised everybody an update on Tyler. So it has been 8 days. That seems like it feels like it's been forever. But I was actually able to talk to Tyler today, and not only talk to him, we had a full conversation. We talked. I didn't believe it. I had to check my phone. We were on the phone for 24 minutes. His mom was there, have him on speakerphone, and we were laughing. We were joking. He's the old goofball. Nothing's changed. And yeah, obviously he's a little hoarse. He's been on a ventilator for the past 8 days, so took a lot of damage. Obviously, in the fire. For those of you that don't know, Tyler, our beloved producer and employee here, and one of my friends, I would say, was very unfortunately hurt quite badly in that Viking apartment fire last week on Wednesday. And yeah, he was taken to Strong, which, we got to give them props. As a lot of you already know, we have just amazing medical, seriously, amazing medical facilities between them and the University of Rochester. We're just so blessed to have that here locally. And they took him there. And I'll be honest, things were pretty dicey there. I know a lot of us weren't sleeping well. We were on pins and needles for a while. We really weren't sure what was going to happen with our boy there. But he pulled through. He's a tough kid. So he pulled through. He's doing great. And we were laughing. We were making the nurse that was in there extremely awkward, I'm sure, and nervous with what we were talking about. I'm sure I made his mom question some things about her own son. No, I'm just kidding. But
she already knew.
She already knows. She knows how
right.
it is. Yeah, I'll tell you. So I know not everybody's in our Discord, but you should be if you're not. And it was so funny just seeing the things that have been posted in there and then seeing a response from Tyler's grandma. And I'm sure you're watching, Marianne, and it was just really funny to see what was posted maybe right before. I won't say what it was, but it was very apropos for Tyler.
FW.
Extremely,
yeah.
We've already marked this video is not for kids, but it's not something we could show on the stream, I don't think. But I'm sure you can use your imaginations, right? And so it's just funny seeing his grandma reply there, Marianne, it's not my grandma, and I was very embarrassed. It's too funny. But she's a good sport. I think again, Tyler, yeah, I guess you'd have to be being Tyler's grandma.
He breaks down barriers
Yeah.
with people because he just has no
So
boundaries
funny, yeah.
himself, right? So
Oh,
He does
man.
that so much with strangers. Imagine how much he does that
Oh,
with
my
his
gosh.
own.
yeah, eventually you just kind of get used to it, right? It's just one of those things.
So yeah, but I spoke with him. We had a very long conversation, and he's got a long fight still ahead. He's I don't want to say he's like out of the woods, but I'm sure he can see the tree line. He's getting there, and it's going to be a long, long road. But he wanted me to thank all of you for just all of the positivity and the love and the vibes that you have sent him. Obviously, the fundraiser, the GoFundMe, has been insane. The reception that we got
Crazy.
from that and the amount of money that we were able to raise for both him and Matt, his cousin, who also lost everything. Luckily wasn't, anywhere near as physically hurt. But they both lost everything. And it's going to be such a journey, not just to rebuild that, but emotionally and all that, kind of stuff. So I just want to thank you again. I know all of us here want to thank everybody that has been a part of that. Even if you couldn't contribute, thank you just for thinking of him. We had how many shares of that GoFundMe? It was close to 4,000, I want to say.
So many.
Just
So
shares
many.
of that. We had well over 400 donors. I think it's approaching 500 donors to that. And obviously we want to thank each and every one of them. But like, if you look and you can sort by like top donors, it's just insane. The number of people that poured that much,
Definitely.
like we, and they're names that we know. I mean, almost every
for
single
sure.
one of those names. There was a lot that were anonymous. There were a lot of people that we didn't know.
Yep.
But I would certainly say over 50% of those names were people that we knew them, and Tyler would know who you are, and it just
Definitely.
means so much to him. Yeah.
So I don't know if you already said it. I don't think you did, but I don't think we went into why he's actually in the hospital.
Sure.
Right. So
Sure.
he went back into the burning building to make sure that like everybody was out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Him and his cousin Matt, they awoke to some commotion and smelling some smoke. They're up on the third floor, and they look out the window and they see flames coming out from another floor below them. And they left their apartment and were knocking on people's doors, getting them out. And we had several people come down. Brian sent us a message. What was it? Just a couple days ago? Someone came down and was like, yeah, I'm alive because of them.
Yeah.
So,
Tyler helped me down the stairs, she said.
yeah. True heroes.
Yeah, no,
him and
absolutely
Matt.
did.
Yeah.
Like, went above and beyond, right, what the vast majority of people would do. So, of course, we're very proud of him.
Yeah.
And also, as these guys are indicating already, right, we're very proud of the community, right? I was telling these guys earlier today, I don't think I've ever been as proud to live where we live, right, and to be part of this specific community, because when you look around and you see the amount of support, not just for Tyler, it seems like every time someone needs help,
Sure.
the community around here, Monroe County,
Yep.
Tennessee County, right?
Totally.
They have this tendency to band together and help each other out, and you don't see that everywhere,
No.
right? And so, as much as we all complain about the state of New York generally, this specific, like regionally where we're at, great people,
Yeah.
right? I think
Absolutely.
for the most part.
And Matt actually saved Tyler's life.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Huge.
yeah. Matt, I know a lot of you don't
Huge.
know Matt. We know him because he was one of Tyler's best friends. He was his cousin. They were roommates. They lived together. But yeah, Matt, there was a moment of confusion, and they go their separate ways, in the building. And Tyler went back into the flames, like Josh mentioned. And Matt, when he realized Tyler wasn't there, went back himself and broke down a door.
Yeah, he had to bust
to
the
get
door
to
down.
get to Tyler. And those of you that know Tyler, he's a tall kid. He's like 6'3", I think he is. He's a big guy. And Matt, more like average size.
Right.
He's not small, but he's not big either. Like Tyler, that was quite a feat to get him down. So true heroism.
One more little point I want to hit on that before we, continue with the show. I don't know if I mentioned it to you, Brandon. I know I mentioned it to Josh. One of the Tactical Games Athletes forums on Facebook that I'm a member of, I went into there. I got a post notification saying somebody had posted in there. So I went in and I checked it out. And it was some young lady that saw Tyler's GoFundMe someplace.
Yep.
And she shared it into the forum. And the comment or the caption that she posted was like, hey guys, just so you know, new member of our Tactical Games family, one of our newest affiliates, they have an employee who was injured in a fire.
Mm-hmm.
And this isn't somebody that knows Tyler personally, right? This isn't somebody that's even necessarily from here.
Yep.
but she saw that Tyler had been injured, and she viewed him as a member of her community, right, as a Tactical Games affiliate and all of that good stuff. So there's a lot of great communities out there, guys, to be a part of, and this specific regional one and the Tactical Games community both really make me proud to be part of that.
Absolutely.
Groups, right?
Absolutely. And from that post, we got multiple donations from
Right,
people
absolutely.
all over the country.
So yeah, for anybody out there that's been part of that or seen that or watches the live stream, thank all of you guys so much. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
We really appreciate all of the love and support for Ty, right?
Yeah.
And from Matt as well.
And he does too.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, big time.
He's after all of that, as you said when you were talking on the phone, he was smiling probably the whole time.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
He's burned over 60% of his body is second and third degree burns, and he was able to smile.
Right. Yeah.
About something.
His spirits were very high,
and that has a lot to do with all of you, right? So let's keep that going, right?
Yeah,
because this is going to be a long road for him. Let's keep supporting him through this journey, and let's keep that going.
To that end, we've got a couple cards. There's one behind us here, the Pew is Life. That's a big card. I don't want to show what's inside of it because it's not exactly safe for work. Again, you can imagine what the guys down here would draw on a card for a close friend. There's many of them drawn on that card. Very artistic, very veiny. I'll just put it that way. Very veiny. And so that's a card. If, maybe if you're one of Tyler's closer friends, or if you're in the Discord, come in and sign that one. We've also got one behind Brian over there that says "Get well soon." Yeah, we've got one over there that's more of a family-friendly one. Like when you come in with your kids, we'll have you sign that one. Probably, it's probably a good idea. But sign a card. You can also just make your own cards, drop them off, and we will make sure that they get to him. And the last thing we can. If you have more things to say, but I guess the last thing I have to say for Ty, if anybody has a radio that's in our radio network, his mom is trying to take a radio with her when she goes and just leave it on the Rochester repeater, the one that's on the Xerox tower. So she was there today, and she's a little shy. Obviously, she's not used to using the radio. Hopefully, she'll open up to it a little bit more with him. Now that he can talk, maybe he could do it even. Right. But hopefully we can just, put a little normalcy in his life, have some day-to-day traffic, people just talking, even just, I was trying to tell him a joke over the air. I don't know how well it was received, but, whatever we can do just to bring some normalcy to his life. Again, he's got a long, long recovery road. And the one of the worst parts about the current situation, obviously with COVID, none of us can go see him.
Right.
Nobody can go see him. The only person that's been able to see him is his mom. I think his grandma got to see him once, and I think Dakota, his sister, got to see him once or twice maybe. So that part, let alone the physical injuries he sustained in that recovery, the emotional recovery from that, and
that's going to
everything
be
that's going on.
equally
absolutely.
as hard.
Absolutely. So keep him in your thoughts. Do what you can do, and check your smoke alarms. Jeez, that's the only other thing I can tell you. Absolutely. That's the message I think a lot of us should take away from this. Yeah, check your fire extinguishers. Have a safety plan. All those things, and be a hero.
An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, right?
Maybe get a Tyler to wake you up.
There you go.
In the middle of the night.
Yes. Yes.
There's only so many of those.
Find a tall, handsome redhead.
It's going to be a big run on Tyler's.
Yeah. Oh man. So moving on, obviously, again, great news. It was just such a beacon of joy, when I posted on it. I don't know if you guys saw it. I've been working all day. I posted on his Facebook page. I found like a stock photo of like a girl like sitting on the bed with like her heels kicked up, like talking on the phone, like what you thinking about me? Yeah. And I posted that. And I was like, this was literally me like the entire time.
100%.
We were on that phone call. I was just over the moon
together.
Yeah. Too funny. But yeah, so switching gears a little bit. Tactical games.
Yeah.
We have got tactical games behind enemy lines in New York happening quick.
Yeah, we're like 10 days out, guys.
1 November. Yep.
That's crazy.
November 1st.
So quick. Pat, why don't you tell the people a little bit? I'm going to check some questions and feedback on social media. why don't you tell some folks about Tactical Games and why they should be excited?
So, guys, here's the deal. We got a Tactical Games skirmish event coming up on 1 November, right? That's a Sunday. And so we're going to be kicking that off bright and early in the morning and be going just about all day long. We've got 3 tremendous battles for you guys coming. I don't want to give up too much information on those, but it's going to be a smoke fest, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And
Just waiting for that.
Yeah, 100%, right? It is. Listen, do PT between now and then, is all I can tell you.
At least one.
At least one PT. Just maybe even just a P.
Do we still need volunteers for that? Chris Woods is asking.
Yes, more volunteers is definitely going to be better as opposed to less volunteers. Yeah, there should be some information on the Discord and on our Facebook page in reference to that. Yeah, there's a sign up
on the website.
So there's a lot of information out there on that. We can PM it over to you as well. So yes, as far as enrollments go, guys, we're a little bit light on our numbers. I think we're still below 20 somewhere, which is a little on the disappointing side. But this is our very first skirmish event, right? So we understand that there's that element of it. B, the suspense as far as like how much time between the announcement and the actual event was not quite as long as maybe we would have liked it to be. And there is a shortage on ammo right now, right? So we're aware of that. However, I want to let you guys know, don't let that shortage on ammo stop you for 2 specific reasons, right? One count of the skirmish itself, right? So in order to facilitate, because we understand the concerns about ammo. So in order to maximize participation and minimize the feeling of like wasteful expenditure of ammunition, we've kept the round count really low. And I mean like 50 rounds of handgun and 50 rounds of long gun. And in keeping with what in keeping with what we've seen some other hosts of skirmish events do, we have decided to incorporate one event with incorporating only handgun shooting into the battle. We've done one battle where it is long gun only, so just your rifle, and we've also done only one battle where it's going to be using your long gun in conjunction with that handgun. Also, because of New York State Safe Act restrictions on detachable magazines and things of that nature, we have also eliminated the needs for you guys to reload your rifles as you're commencing a course of fire, right? As much as that is a part of being a tactical athlete or being a proficient shooter or being able to run that rifle effectively in, a real world scenario and all the things of that nature. We live where we live and the laws are what they are. And some people are not going to take any chances to go outside of that, and we totally understand and respect that. So in order to, again, facilitate and just recognize kind of some of the concerns that are out there, we have tailored the event to, be conducted. So understand that we're not going to be asking you guys to do anything that would constitute a violation of the law in conjunction with any of those events, right? So you're not going to require like standard capacity magazine. You're not going to require a long gun with detachable mag. So a lot of the things that you would see in a skirmish or a real Tactical Games proper event in a free state, you're not going to see those same exact setups here, right? We're going to do what we can with what we've got. And I think we're putting together some fun and challenging events for all you guys. And I really look forward to hopefully boosting those numbers here in the next 10 days. We're going to keep the registration open as long as we can. But the way it's looking right now, I've got one small squad of guys in the elite division. There's 3. We allotted about 5 slots because that was what we kind of anticipated. So if you guys know any studs out there that are just, getting after it every day, great shooters, physically fit.
I know a couple.
All of that good stuff. Well, I don't see their names on my roster. So
Hold on.
they can be as studly as they want on the couch, right? But that's not where it gets done, right? Okay. Well, hey, the man knows who he is. I got to respect it.
So I was just going to interject.
No, please.
To be honest, I wasn't paying attention 100%.
Yeah.
I'm a very bad student. That's, but one thing I just want to tack on that, like, don't be afraid. Again, yes, this competition is intended for the studs, the athletic folk, to really compete and see what they've got against other studs.
I was talking
like
specifically
this.
about the elite level guys.
But yeah, like, don't be afraid. If you're a guy like me, like, this is kind of, again, what we think here at the Firing Pin. This is kind of like the minimum standard for, I don't know what you want to call it, but let's say just readiness, personal readiness.
To feel, for me to feel comfortable, right, in my physical conditioning, I need to know where I stand, right? I want to have something to measure myself against, right? And that's what this is. This is just a measuring stick, right? This is a way to assess your abilities at one moment in time, right? And all it is, guys, is it's an opportunity to look at the training that you've been doing and
where you need
and
to
see
improve.
if the training that the work that you've been putting in, because we know you guys are out there working hard, right? I understand that a lot of you guys are out there shooting as regularly as you can, or maybe now doing more dry fire stuff and whatever else. I understand you guys are out there, lifting weights and running and training in your kit and all of that stuff. And you guys want an opportunity to show those skills or at least test those skills and see kind of where they're at. So if you're going to go out there and show out, and this is me, I'm here, I'm ready to perform, be that guy. If you're here and you're coming and you want to learn and grow, and you're taking it as an opportunity to do a little self-assessment and a little gut check, right?
Huge.
That to me that's where
That's a huge opportunity.
Yeah, for me, when I went to the Tactical Games event in PA, I didn't know all that much about it. I kind of saw it, and it was a few weeks away, and I was like, yeah, I really want to go and do this. And these guys were like, yeah, obviously, that's what you should be doing, is going out there and testing yourself so that we can, bring some of that mindset and mentality and some of that good opportunities to advance our own training and skill sets back here, right? So that's what we're trying to bring to you guys, is an opportunity to do that self-assessment, see where you're at, and get a feel for where you need to improve. This isn't to make anybody feel bad.
Or like inadequate. That's not what it's about.
No, listen, we all have like a starting point, right? And if you want to continue to progress along this journey, you need people right there pushing you, and you need a way to have objective, measurable standards so that you know what you're doing is either working and moving you in the right direction, or it isn't, right? And so that's what these training events hopefully are going to do. And then those of you guys who are interested in potentially competing in a proper Tactical Games, like 2-day event, I'm going to the one in SIG Academy at SIG Academy in May of next year, right? So this skirmish, if I weren't running it, if I wasn't going to be behind the scenes, doing all of that stuff, I'd come out there and let you guys kick my butt. And then, I would use that as an opportunity to assess where I'm at for New Hampshire next year. So, this is a great opportunity, I think, guys, for you to come out and do some good training. You're walking into an unknown environment, and you're just going to be asked to perform. And I think that's the ultimate kind of test.
Couple questions.
Sure.
What about studettes, female?
Oh, yes. No, listen. Okay, let's talk about the female athletes. Yeah, I'm so glad we brought that up. Guys, listen, I apologize. I don't mean to exclude anybody ever, right? So I just want to get out in front of that. If I offended somebody potentially, please don't hate me forever, right? With that said, we definitely need some female athletes. Right now I have one, and she is going to be squatted in the intermediate men's division as of right now. She's going to be in a squad of 4 competitors total. So there's going to be 3 men's intermediate athletes that are going to be running the heat along with her. She is going to be doing the same standard of the standards are going to be the same for female competitors in many ways. And in some other ways, we're going to modify the standards a little bit to accommodate people with slightly smaller frames. And, obviously the way the Tactical Games events work is that they're set up in those divisions for a reason, right? Because everybody should meet, a certain level of expectation based on those divisions. So if a female, and I want to caveat that if there was a female athlete out there that said, I want to compete in the men's intermediate division, I would happily allow her to enroll and compete right alongside with the men. And if she wanted to do what they're doing, hey, it's a great opportunity, again, to test and measure and see where you stand. But if we can get some more female athletes out there, and if there's anything we can do to help, let's talk about ammo.
So, why do you think we don't have as many people signing up for this?
Well, I think one reason, right, would be the ammo shortage, right? So
Right.
what have we done?
We've
here?
been in a nationwide ammo shortage for going on 8 months now.
So
right?
long.
Everybody wants 9mm and 5.56. We field hundreds of calls for that every day. Speaking of that, there is no magical truck that just appears here, okay? I'm not trying to be mean, but every day, multiple times a day, hey, you guys got any 9mm? No, I sure don't.
When's
We're
that
in a
truck coming?
nationwide, we're in a nationwide ammo shortage. Oh, when's the shipment arrive? That's not how it works, unfortunately, guys.
Not right now, it isn't.
Yeah, I wish that it did. Maybe last year that might work that way, but we are not, we're not a big box store that gets, we get a delivery on this day every week.
We're allocated X amount of cases of ammo.
That's just not how it works. Unfortunately, I am on the phone a lot calling all of the distributors that we work with and saying, hey, do you have any ammo allocated to you this week? Because that's how it works. We buy from the wholesale distributors. I have, my sales reps that I work with. When stuff comes into the warehouse there, every sales rep gets, X amount, right, of ammo. If my sales rep just so happens to get some, he calls me and says, hey, Josh, you want this? I say, yeah. Send as much as you can. Don't even call me. Just send it.
Send the bill.
Unfortunately, that's how that works right now. There is no magical truck. Going back to tactical games. If you haven't signed up for the tactical games because you don't have ammo, we have set aside 9mm and 5.56 that we can sell solely to people that need ammo for the tactical games. So don't let that stop you from signing up for the tactical games because we got you. Okay? TFP cares.
If you're interested and you want to sign up and you're not sure what, if we're going to have enough, give us a call and I will personally put a sticky note with your name on it for such and so.
I've already done that.
It's here. It's
like 2 or 3 times.
Right?
So, sorry, Lieutenant 146 on YouTube wants to know, so when is that truck coming? Winky emoji face.
Look here, sir.
Listen to
This
these
truck's going to be coming to your home address after we get done here.
Whoa!
Oh,
that
my
down.
God.
I don't know who Lieutenant 146
Oh, a knife hand.
is.
The knife hand's out.
Calm down.
Was that Franz?
It could be. It certainly could be. It could be Lieutenant
Oh, yeah.
Also, there's some woman named April in the Facebook streams that is being very.
I've been waiting for this.
explicit.
Very forward.
Yeah, she is very interested in you, Pat. I'll just put it out there. She likes what you're putting out
She's
there.
been chasing me for years. Love you. I'll see you in a little bit.
All right. So yes, we have set aside ammo. We have allocated ammo specifically for the tactical games. If that's what's keeping you from signing up, do not let that keep you from signing up.
Yeah, by all means, give us a call. We will take care of you. And when we run out for some reason, which I don't foresee, we'll be upfront with you guys on that side too. But if there's any question in your mind, please give us a call because I would rather have that conversation and be able to bring you into the fold than to let you.
So one thing to add to that:
Sure.
when you call us specifically for that, don't just call and ask us if we have 5.56,
Right,
Because
yes, that would be.
we will say no. Call us and specifically reference, do you have 5.56 available for the tactical games? Because I want to sign up.
I want to compete in the skirmish.
Give us that whole story.
Yes.
Because the
You
answer
guys
will be
have some-
different.
Right.
Right.
100%.
One more thing that I want to add about the tactical games. This is your opportunity to sign up for the first one in this area, correct? In the Northeast, right?
Well, yeah, regionally, this is going to be the first one, right? Because they don't have any other affiliates. We are the first affiliate of the tactical games that's going to be running skirmishes here in the Northeast region of the U.S. So that is a big deal. And that's a great point. The other thing is, guys, we live in New York, right? So this is actually the first time, 100% for sure, the first time that anything like this has been put on by this specific organization here, right? So if you guys know anything about the tactical games as a whole, they are growing, right? They've only been around for a handful of years now. I think 2.5 or 3 years, something like that.
And you were telling me yesterday that they just bought
CrossFit Games. Yeah, they're
CrossFit Games.
I
Yeah.
was hearing that they're supposed to be combining forces or whatever with CrossFit Games now. So they've really expanded the brand, and they are on the move, right? And they're going to continue to grow this out. And these events are going to keep getting better and better. And so we're happy to be a part of that culture, right? Of continuing to step the level of training to the next higher echelon, but also we're happy to be bringing this here to this state, right? Because ultimately, a lot of people would say that this wouldn't work here, right? And we think it will. And we don't just think it'll work here. We think it'll help us breed a stronger gun culture here.
Yep.
So that's what we're after, right?
Lord knows we need it.
100%, right? Gun culture here has been weak sauce for a long time, and so we need to fix it. But we're relying on you guys in a lot of ways for that to help us out. So please do. Ryan, what else you got for questions, pal?
One quick question.
Sure.
Jake asked, will any of the TAC games be live streamed?
It's highly likely that it will. I mean, we haven't decided. We haven't made the call, I guess, to do that.
If you want to volunteer,
yeah, if you wanted to
maybe
come
one
and
of the volunteers
run a
could be the
camera,
live
yeah,
stream
that would be a
person.
great.
Yeah.
Maybe if we get one of our media peeps that
Mhm.
we were already going to bring in anyway, maybe we could ask them. Or Jake, hey, you sounds to me like you want to volunteer to come run a camera. So if you'd like to do that, if you're interested, right, let us know, and we'd be happy to incorporate you in that way, and you can come see what it's all about. Thanks for the suggestion. Look forward to seeing you.
That's all we got at the moment.
Okay, very good. Thanks, Brian. So yeah, we talked a little bit of Tyler. We talked a little bit about tactical games. We talked a little bit about the ammo and all of that good stuff. Josh, what are the updates on the inventory back here? What do we got?
Inventory, handguns is looking pretty good right now. Handguns have been coming in more than most other items. Ammo is still incredibly sad, depressing. But we've got handguns. We have multiple Glocks. We've got some blue labels. If you are an LEO, a firefighter,
a veteran with the DD-214, right up until.
I don't think they're doing that right now.
Is that after Veterans Day until Memorial Day, or is it about to end?
I don't think they
not
did
do
it this year. I don't think they did the veteran thing this year.
Okay, my mistake. Sorry. Yeah, they
If
used
they
to
did,
do
I
that.
haven't seen it.
Right.
Normally they send us stuff on that. Yeah, but yeah, like sometimes they run like 6 months out of the year, like for veterans.
Or Glock Shooting Sports Foundation members, right? If you join
Correct.
GSSF, you're eligible for one per year as well. So
Armed Guard, COs.
employees of Glock retailers, right? If you work for a Glock retailer, you're eligible for one per year as well.
Yep. So for Glocks, we have a couple 43Xs left. We posted a little bit ago that we had gotten some in. We also have, I believe, 2 43 propers available. We have 2 Model 48s on the Blue Label program only. Okay. So that's what we've got for Glocks. We did have a used 42. I think that sold.
I sold it today.
We've got 2 of the Model 44s. Okay, those are the 22 rimfire ones. 22 long rifle. Which if you have a 19, it's the same exact size as the 19, just shoots 22 LR. So if you're one of those guys that stocked up on 22 LR back in 2013 when that ammo was hard to find and you don't feel like shooting your 19, might be a good option for you to train with the Glock Model 44 22. They'll fit the same holster. It's exactly the same size. So inside of this ammo shortage might be something cool to do. Which reminds me, ammo shortage, right? What's another way, Pat, that we can train during this ammo shortage?
Dry fire is great, right? But we have little ways that we can take dry fire even to the next level, right? So with that in mind, we have we've had for some years now a smokeless range from laser ammo set up in our classroom. Okay. So the laser ammo smokeless range, for those of you who are not familiar, is a pretty neat system, and it relies on a computer to run the software, a projector to project an image onto a big screen, and a camera to capture a laser from either the laser ammo advanced training laser ammo pistol, laser aiming pistol, the ATLAP, which we have one of those. However, I recently made the discovery that that specific system, because it uses a camera as opposed to like some kind of laser specific recognition that would need, you know, that laser to fall within a specific spectrum, right? We have discovered that that will work with pretty much any laser so far that we projected onto the screen, as long as the camera can spot it, right? So with that in mind, we've got some cool little snap caps on the way that will fit right into the chamber of your own handgun. So if you're a person that is looking to get some training and you come in and you say, you know, I really want to learn how to use this gun, but I'm not terribly comfortable getting onto the range kind of right off the bat, or if you've been onto the range and you're struggling with, you know, something to do with the fundamentals of marksmanship, right? Proper stance, proper grip, proper sight alignment, proper trigger control, proper follow through, etc. Right? Something like our laser range, our smokeless range from laser ammo, is a really good alternative because it doesn't require you to make expensive noise out there on the range, burning a lot of gunpowder and stuff like that, right? All you would need to do is set up a time to get with either myself or with John. And we can actually run you through some different training stuff right there in the classroom without having the need to use any live ammunition whatsoever. So, you know, that is an option that's available. And I think for a lot of people, it might be a more like viable and more useful option than you might initially suspect.
And it's tons of fun too.
It is tons of fun, right? But there's a lot of different things that we can work on using that laser rangefinder or that laser ammo setup that we can't necessarily do out there on the range, or just from a communication perspective, right? Trying to do stuff on our indoor range, sometimes it's very noisy out there. It's hard for us to talk back and forth, and it's hard for us to get any real training accomplished sometimes because of that. So I think this is going to be a really great addition into what we're already doing here. And if that's something that interests you, we're definitely going to be, pushing more information about that out. And I look forward to getting a chance to use it with some of you guys. So,
and you don't need your permit. Don't need a permit.
Yeah, to handle an ATLAP specifically, right? It's not a live firearm, right? So if you're somebody who's in like the process of obtaining your pistol permit and you want to go that extra step and just spend a little bit of time refining some of those fundamentals and learning a little bit and getting some good technique, below your belt before you, start to go out there and do some shooting with your actual firearm. Once you get that permit, we can help you there. So
We had a question come through, Pat.
Sure.
Do you see any value in using blanks to train?
Okay,
It's
so
kind of expensive.
blanks are they're not really any less expensive than live ammunition. And here's one of my qualms with blanks. I can see my sights aligned on the target, right? I can press my trigger. I can experience some recoil. What I don't get is any sort of downrange feedback whatsoever that tells me what was actually going on with my sights when I press that trigger, right? So a good example of a time or a way that's not going to be beneficial to you is, imagine you're out there, Josh, teaching a brand new shooter, okay? And you watch them break off a shot on the target, and you can see on the target where they hit. Mm-hmm. The shooter can't necessarily see it, and you say, hey, where did you think that went just there? And they say, well, I don't know, right? Because they're not calling their shot. In other words, they don't know where the sights were when they broke that shot, right? Right. Is blanks going to help solve that specific issue? Are they going to be able to start calling those shots if there's nothing downrange to help them, right? So it might help with certain things like grip, right? It might help with certain things like recoil management or getting rid of a flinch.
Mhm.
But in terms of actually like making you a more consistent and accurate shooter, I can't think off the top of my head of any real application for blanks that's going to help you with those things. So I think there is definitely some value there, and definitely it adds an element of safety if we're working from the holster, right? Because obviously if you discharge a blank
Sure.
somewhere around your body when you're going to discharge to holster the gun, right? That has one set of implications, whereas live ammunition has a completely different set of implications.
Still gonna hurt because
Still gonna hurt you.
There's a little piece of cardboard. That
Yeah.
still comes out very fast.
It's still not going to be pleasant for you, right? But in all likelihood, you're going to live. So there's that. But I would suggest that if we're not ready for live ammunition, why would I want a blank in the chamber either? Or why aren't we using an airsoft gun?
If you want to do
I
that
think
kind of
airsoft
training.
guns would probably be a more right, or the laser ammo smokeless range. Or another possibility for you would be something like the Cool Fire Trainer.
Sure.
The Cool Fire Trainer is a super neat setup for those of you who don't know. It's basically just a replacement. I think it's just the barrel, the guide rod, and the magazine for your pistol. And basically,
it's a gas, right? It's a
yeah,
gas
you fill up that barrel with green gas, and it's got a special guide rod in it that allows the gun to cycle with, obviously a much lighter force projecting it back. Right, as opposed to a live round, and it's relatively inexpensive. Well, I say relatively inexpensive. It costs almost as much as a new handgun, right? It's like $300 or $400.
Yeah,
but I think the juice is worth the squeeze there.
In an ammo shortage.
In particular, like a situation like this really shines a light on why that might be a good thing, and the amount of training that I could, the number of repetitions that I could get for that $400 plus a small, investment in like green gas and stuff of that nature would be, it would definitely up the number of times I would get to do this, or something, increase the number of reps I could do in a given year exponentially.
For a bad thing.
Right. So if you're a guy that's looking for a cheaper, less expensive way to get more reps, I would say a Cool Fire Trainer is probably the way to go. Do we have any more questions from?
Someone just said, Suzanne said she is very interested in that training. So that's awesome.
Perfect. Yeah. You know where to reach us, obviously, because we're on the Facebook and everything. Feel free to hit me up on my email, and we could schedule a time for you. Give me a call here. A lot of ways for us to chat more about that. So yeah, I would love to.
So what's a lesson run per hour?
60 per hour. And obviously, if we're not using ammunition, there's no additional cost.
No extra
there,
fee
right?
to use
and there's no extra fee to use. Like if you use one of our rental guns with a laser in it, I'm not going to charge you a rental fee for that, right? So obviously, you'd be able to try a multitude of different guns with the laser, and that might actually be a good way to get around some of the costs associated with some of the rental gun stuff too. Especially from an ammo consumption standpoint, right?
Sure.
Because so there's that. But yeah, we're always looking for ways, guys, to increase our opportunities to train with you and to make our training department, not only more accessible but also better, right? Everything that we do, we want to keep raising the bar,
improving.
Absolutely, 100%.
Anthony Palumbo is going to let us use. Hopefully, he's got a 360 GoPro. He's going to definitely make sure he brings us clean memory cards. I went through that already in the chats here.
Good deal.
I told him otherwise that stuff will end up in Eastern Europe. Knowing
For
us.
100%.
He's the one that donated some phones for Tyler.
Awesome.
We had to make like extra sure that there weren't any memory cards and stuff in there. So.
Okay, we've got some good questions here.
Sure.
Okay, so some good comments, I should say. John DeWitt, you know him very well.
I do, yeah. John's a great guy.
And he just is singing your high praises. He said the money that he has spent training with you is just the best $60 he's ever spent in the gun hobby. So
I appreciate that, John, very much, man. I had a great time. Come on back and see me anytime, man.
So he says he got some one-on-one training from you not long, or he did your pistol mechanics class.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And he says that he went from what are you shooting at to shooting actual groups now and hitting things. So
yeah, no, absolutely he did.
Yeah, he was just singing your praises, and Absolutely.
Guys, I love that. I appreciate it so much. But John, listen, man, you did that work, right? Like that effort. I always want to shine a light on the effort that you guys put forth, right? Because you came to get some training initially, and then you put in the repetitions to help improve yourself, right? So I'm glad I was able to share some information with you, but ultimately that's all I did, right? I gave you a little bit of info that maybe you didn't have before, and you did the work to make yourself better. So thank you very much.
Michael asks a very good question, kind of switching gears a little bit, going back to something you said earlier, Josh. Where are all these off-brand shotguns suddenly coming from? Are those something that have always been available, but just rarely purchased? Or is there like some warehouse that they're unlocking, or
The entire country of Turkey.
Yeah.
They just
Literally, there are so many manufacturers in Turkey that make shotguns.
I think they just closed all their other businesses and were like, we make shotguns now.
There are so many. That is probably their number one export in Turkey is shotguns.
Yeah.
Some of you may not know, a lot of the Mossberg shotguns, especially their
Maverick 88s and whatever.
Mavericks, the silver pigeon.
Oh yeah, the silver pigeon. No, that's Beretta.
That's Beretta.
Yeah,
Silver. Yeah. I have one. I can't even think of it.
I know the gun you're talking about.
It's an it's an over under, right? So a lot of Mossberg's over unders are made in Turkey. Who else?
We got some EA Rock Island Armory guns back here. That
Winchester shotguns are made in Turkey. There's just a ton that are made in Turkey. But yeah, some of like the off-brand ones that you're seeing, like this one here. This is an Omega Arms. This is made in Turkey. And there's nothing wrong with that. But yes, since everybody and their mother over the past 8 months have been after Mossberg 500s and Remington 870s, which are nowhere to be found, some of those lesser known manufacturers have come into the spotlight. And because that's what was available, that's what was out there. So,
and to their credit, like obviously we sell a fair number of these guns because of the shortage and everything like that. And to their credit, the guns that I've seen coming out of Turkey, they seem to be pretty high quality, right? Relative to the price tag, I would say. You don't see a lot of rough finishes or tool marks or anything that you generally expect with a lower end gun. And being a shotgun, honestly, I don't want to say it's hard to mess that stuff up, but the level of precision that you require to put together a shotgun is much lower, right? The threshold is much lower to build a shotgun than it is to build a rifle or a pistol or something of that nature because of like headspace and stuff like that, right? So shotguns generally are just a little bit easier to produce and definitely less expensive. Right?
Couple things here.
Sure.
Chris Woods. He's a little smart aleck over here. He goes, ammo shortage. The number 7 birdshot over there is plentiful. Just come to Shotgun World, Pat. That's what he says. And then he also goes, made in Turkey. That's why they're the breast. Chris, go to bed.
Yeah.
okay.
Clearly you're drunk with that shotgun.
Okay.
So we got a bunch of questions here.
That was good.
First of all, I want to do this one, though. Victoria Gotham.
Yeah.
She says, can we tell John Gotham to get off his lazy butt and sign up for the tactical games? He can hear us, but he can't see the comments, I guess. But he's debating on signing up. And
Debating my ass.
What are you waiting for?
Come on,
what is there
man.
to debate?
No balls. Can we say that?
Yes.
Okay. No balls.
So we had another
Do it.
question.
Sign up.
What, Pat, specifically, this is from John DeWitt.
Okay.
What's Larry Vickers like in real life? Like, what's he like?
He's a super nice guy. I've only met him like 2 or 3 times. I took a 2-day class with him a couple of years ago.
He's a super nice guy if you don't ND at one of his classes.
Yo, yeah.
Can you tell that story?
I will real quick. So a couple of years ago, it was August 2018, and I'm out in an undisclosed location in New York, and I'm at a Larry Vickers class, and it's day 1. It is Saturday morning. We have not even loaded guns, guys, yet. I swear to God, this is true. And we're standing on the firing line. Everybody's facing a target. and LAV is doing his thing behind the scenes, getting himself squared away, ready for the class. And everybody's just, getting guns out of holsters and getting sight pictures on the B8s and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, from directly to my left, I just see bang, and a gun goes off. And I'm not wearing my ears, and nobody else on the line is wearing ears because we're not hot yet. And all of a sudden, here comes LAV just
selling guns, sorry.
Bombing up from behind me. And he's like, who was that? Who just discharged a pistol? What is going on? And the guy was like, it was me. And so he was like, come over here, please. And conference between LAV, the guy that was hosting the class, and the student. And all of a sudden, I see the student come back up to the firing line, police up all of his stuff, and take off. And Vickers comes out in the front of the group, and he's like, listen, guys, here's the deal. That gentleman had an ND, and he was asked to leave. And if any of you individuals have NDs while we're here, I'm going to be asking you to pack your stuff and go as well. He was like, listen, I've had classes like this before where somebody had an ND, and it happened to be, one of those situations where he knew the guy that was putting on the class. And I talked to the guy that was running the class about it, and he, said that everything was cool. And if it was okay with me, then he was going to let the guy stay. And I said, hey, man, it's your range. And what do you know? The next drill or the next day or whatever, same guy, different scenario. This time everybody's like moving forward up the firing line, like they're getting up from the prone and getting ready to move forward. And the guy had an ND right out in front of him, right? So 2 NDs, 1 class. And if the second one would have killed somebody, then not only is the range owner hooped at that point because he let the guy stay, but now somebody got killed at a Larry Vickers class, and we don't even know who that guy is at this point, right? Because, like, as in Larry Vickers, right? Because he would just get memory hold because somebody died in one of his classes. As far as, like, his personality and all of that stuff, he was very polite and cordial to me. And I've had a couple of really nice interactions with him. He signed my shot timer. I still have it. Super cool guy. Much nicer than me.
So wait, is he the I'm confused. Is he the master of time, or are you the master of time?
I think that's more of a rank almost like it's not just that there's one master.
You just have to achieve the level.
You're the master of time.
I think Jerry Michalik
at TFP
is the overlord of time, or he's the
father
the arbiter of time. Okay. Yeah, whatever.
Maybe the arbiter of time.
He's father time. Yeah.
Please don't come after me, Jerry.
I'm not as fast as I'm not as fast. From 1,000 yards away with a 629
with a 380.
I'm gonna hit some jackasses in Virgin. A wheel gun.
Yeah, he's in Arkansas right now doing a hand load for us.
Too funny. So we had something else. What is happening here on Sunday? I can talk about it if you want. Sunday at 1:00, we are doing. All right. So Sunday at 1:00. Actually, Brian over here. This was your idea, really. So bring yourself up there in picture. But Sunday here at the firing pin, 1 p.m. We're going to take a group photo, and I'm going to put it out there. Like, we're going to try to take that photo at like 1:15. Like sharp. Yeah, like if we don't put a time on there, people will be showing up at all times. But try to get here a little early. But we just want to get as many people from the store as we can in a group photo. We're going to print it out gigantic style just to give to Tyler, just again to lift his spirits, show how many people are thinking about him. If you can and if you want to, show up in full kit. We're going to be showing up in our full gear, whatever that means to you. If you've got a cool retro setup, go for it. If you've got, like, if you're on duty somewhere or you're in the military, if you're allowed to do that, I don't know if you are. If you're bring your tank over, whatever you can do. Maybe the Chinooks can land behind us. If any of you out there have the keys to that place, just have that, make that happen. It's like 3 days away.
Just borrow a helicopter.
That can happen. Yeah, they fly overhead all the time. Just land here. No.
How hard is it?
Engines smoking. But yeah, Sunday, 1 p.m. here. And if you don't have gear, please come anyways. We would love to just have you.
Just wait.
If you have ever had an interaction with Tyler, or even if you haven't, you just want to make the kid feel better, please come on down here.
Smile
we would
for him.
we would love that. Love that. And I guess
Smile
if you're too far away, maybe you could email us a picture and we could make some type of collage or something like that.
That would be great. Yeah.
You know, no promises, but if you want to participate, I know there's a lot of his friends.
Talking to you, Dan.
Yeah, Dan up there in Hawaii, having so much fun. He's just sitting on the beach right now. I can picture him. He's loving it. Mahalo or whatever. I don't know what they say over in Hawaii.
I believe they say Meli Kaliki Maka.
That is the nice way. That's so
on a bright Hawaiian Christmas day.
So are you a dad? You don't have to be a father,
Yeah.
are you? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Not wearing my New Balances.
Couple-
Right now.
With the Velcro.
I don't have the fanny pack on.
Jean shorts.
Oh man, too funny. But yeah, so thank you. I can't remember who reminded me, but someone in the chat brought that up. And thank you so much for reminding me. I wanted to put that out here. This is a huge part of the community that knows Tyler. And we had multiple people in the stream say like they only watch this stream because of Tyler, and he brought that, and they just love his goofiness, you know, and what he brings to the table. Yeah, I am sure once he's up to it, I'm sure we could find a way to zoom him
Get him,
in,
like, picture
you
in
know.
picture or
Yeah, I'm
whatever.
sure he would love that.
I could. Yeah, with coordination, we'd definitely get him zoomed in and picture on here for sure.
That would
Cool.
be super
I think
cool.
he'd love that. Yeah. So awesome. Let me see. I know we got a couple other questions here.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Sorry. Oh, what is an ND?
Negligent discharge. I saw that when I was over there. I was going to try and type a quick response. I think Brian already hit you up with that. But for those of you who don't know, I'm sorry. I try not to use too many like terminological things like that are going to get people confused. But sometimes I
That's my bad also.
Yeah. So negligent discharge would be
When a gun goes off and it wasn't.
unintentionally, right? And it's not an accidental thing where it's the guns that fall, right?
Is the tactical games open? This is Stu asking. Are the tactical games open to spectators?
Yes, and spectators are encouraged, right? Because those guys are going to be this event is going to be difficult, right? And it's designed to be difficult. So those people that are going to be out there competing, I want them to have cheerleaders out there to support them, right? And not everybody is necessarily going to have. I know that we've got some people that are coming in. One guy specifically that I know from up in New England area is going to be coming down. He's going to have his fiance with him, and she is going to be making a lot of noise because she is really supportive like that. And she gets after it. So I want everybody out there to have someone cheering for them as well, right? So yes, spectators are encouraged, and if you can't necessarily or aren't sure if you want to compete in the event, then yeah, come down and watch and see if it's something that you would like to do in the future.
Also, Rick Standish, old friend of ours.
Sure.
We haven't seen him in a long time.
Yeah, been a while.
Missed you, Standish brothers. Yeah, so maybe he asked about maybe what some of the community has done for Tyler, or what are we planning on doing? I know we've got a lot of stuff in the works.
Sure.
We had a huge response from the GoFundMe, but we've had some really big industry partners donate some pretty high dollar stuff.
Absolutely. So first and foremost, we've raised I don't know what it's at right now. It's at about 36.
Yeah,
36,
yeah.
It's close to $36,000 from the GoFundMe page that I set up last week for Tyler.
Yep.
Huge. I called you, right? I was like, I don't know what to set the goal at. We were like, I don't know, maybe 10.
Right.
You know,
What's realistic?
10,000.
Yeah.
What do we think we can actually do, right?
Blew through that in what, like 8 hours?
4 hours.
Something
yeah.
like that. Ridiculous.
So that was wild. So almost 36K for Matt and Tyler was raised on that. We over the past week have had tons of people dropping off all sorts of stuff, phones, all sorts of clothing,
phones, right?
You know, like new clothing, lightly used clothing, a toaster, just, you know, for when they get, you know, to move back into their apartment, right? Stuff like that. All sorts of stuff that people have dropped off. I've had a lot of people ask me, you know, like, what is Tyler like? What does he like to snack on? What's he like to drink?
Double-sided. Wait, no, sorry. Wrong.
No, I said. Okay.
I think they're double-ended. Sorry, it's a
Correct.
double-ended.
Yeah, double-sided is different. Double-ended is the thing you're thinking of.
Tentacle.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Yeah, so we have had people just dump stuff onto us that we have then made its way to Matt. I've had a lot of people bring in cash that will make its way to him. Lots of people have written, like cards. April made a fantastic card that's going to be next to impossible to beat. Sorry, guys. My wife, Shannon, is going to knit him a blankie with the Pua's Life logo on it. Okay? So he'll be able to have a nice blankie. Aside from all of that, we have had people donate stuff to be raffled off. Okay, our friend Joe D'Ambrosio works at Rochester Precision Optics. Okay, very, very good friends of ours. And they donated 3 Sig Sauer Echo 1 thermal sights. We're going to be doing raffles on those. So keep your eye out for that. We're going to post that on our Facebook when we're done. We'll probably, since there's 3 of them, we'll probably figure out 3 different kinds of raffles to do with one. One might be a silent auction. One of them might be, you buy 1 ticket for $5 or $10, and we'll do it that way. We've gotten some rifles to raffle off.
Yeah.
A Steyr AUG.
Yeah. Jason, one of the guys in the Discord, just graciously, his $2,000 AUG.
Such a nice guy.
Was just raffle this off.
Raffle it for Tyler. Yep.
Insane.
So, huge. Yeah. So thank you so much.
That modern camp gun in 45.
About I was going to say the guns that Joe brought down too.
Yes, Joe. Joe brought down some really cool guns. One's a Marlin 45 caliber camp carbine that takes a 1911 mag. Super cool gun. So we will either raffle that off or do something with that for sure. He brought down an M16A2 upper and 5.56 with a crowned barrel.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We'll raffle that off, and a Beretta Pico.
Yep. And a Polymer 80.
Yeah, the P80.
And a P80 lower, yeah. So
and some parts. I think we're going to try to build out the A2 rifle.
Cool.
Because he brought down a stock for it, a buffer. He brought down a few components for it too. So we're going to try to build maybe a complete rifle. Mitch McAllister says you got to sell those blankies in the store.
Okay.
His word.
So Shannon, I called her after I got out of jury duty, and she started working on the blanket already.
Oh wow.
And I called her on my way here from jury duty, and she's like, "Yeah, I took it out. There was 1 speck of yarn that wasn't where it should be." She was like, so she unraveled it.
Just did the
and
whole thing
she's gonna start over because she said she's like, once people see these, I'm sure people are gonna want more. So
go to Etsy.
She's got a pretty cool Etsy shop.
Tyler's grandma's still right in here with us. She said that blanket sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
That sounds
It's gonna be
awesome.
cool. She's very talented.
Yeah. I saw the other one that she made already. That's super rad. So yeah, that's gonna be cool.
We have more fundraisers that I can talk about too.
Yeah. So real quick, Jamie brought up a good question, and I just want to address that. As amazing as the outpouring of support for Tyler and Matt was, there were 39 other people. I think there were 41 people total displaced by this fire.
Correct. Yeah.
So I would say obviously there's still a ton that people want to give because they know Tyler, they know Matt, but there were a ton of other people affected by this fire as well. So if you can find it in your hearts, I know they would really appreciate it as well. These people were their neighbors, their friends. They lived there for well over a year. They had just signed their 2nd full year renewal of their lease. So it was very heartbreaking to see, other people who obviously they are physically much better off than Tyler ended up, turning out. They lost everything as well. Some of them were families with children, So again, like you said earlier, the community has just come together so much. But we just want to highlight again, there are some fundraisers that are struggling to raise $200 or $300, that I've seen in there. So, if you can, maybe try to search on GoFundMe. I know, the Town of Sweden supervisor. If you look up, if you look up that Facebook page, Town of Sweden supervisor.
What's the coffee shop?
He had Grinds. I want to say there was a couple. And I just wanted to shout out again on scene. The Red Cross, they were amazing. They were there. Obviously, that's like their thing, but they were there right off the bat. Lowe's of Brockport was there handing out moving boxes so people could go in there. Once the scene was clear, of course, they could go in there and try to gather up what little things were safe and that they could take before they demolished the building. And Wegmans was there. Wegmans brought over a whole truck full of food and snacks and water.
Very nice.
And there was a nice young lady walking around just like, you know, and you could tell she was being very sincere. Like, are you okay? Like, what do you guys need? You know, it was just really cool to see, like, you know, they are a local company, but they're a huge company too, just to see that they, you know, someone over there at Brockport knew what they were doing and sent her over there, or she just, you know, I don't know if she was a manager or who she was, but that was just huge to see those companies. But yeah, again, I would implore you, I don't know if you can search necessarily on GoFundMe or Facebook might be the better option, but try to seek out. There are a lot of other people too that need your support. So that was just my quick little thank you for the reminder.
I will say that anything that we got that they can't use, going to those families as well.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Sorry, Brian had something too.
Yeah, just one other Brockport company that helped out. Jimmy Z's Place to Chase on Main Street did a fundraiser. I believe it was last night, but it was sometime this week. So Jimmy, as always, is helping out in the community when he can. So just wanted to say thanks to Jimmy as well.
Yeah. Perfect.
Awesome.
Cool.
Oh, we will also be doing.
Oh yeah. So back to your point before I interrupted you.
Yeah. So we have all of that cool stuff to raffle off. We will also be doing a Tupperware fundraiser. It's going to be awesome. Okay. So people, I've never said those words before. It's going to be cool. Okay. You can buy stuff for yourself. You can buy stuff for somebody else. You can also buy stuff for Tyler and Matt or any of the other families, and you can donate it. So keep an eye on our Facebook page as that progresses, but that will be launching at some point in the next week. We will have the order down here. You can also order online. There is an extra small fee for that. I believe it's $5 extra to place an order online just because there's a little bit more work that goes into that on the back end.
Right.
But yeah, lots of stuff that you can buy from Tupperware. You can outfit your entire kitchen with that stuff, which is sort of what we hope to do for Matt and Tyler.
And that's what I was going to say as well, right? Is that's not necessarily something that would come to your mind right off the bat, right? But because they have lost everything that was, contained, means that when it's time to go home, they're not going to have cookware. They're not going to have an ability to store food, leftovers, whatever. They're not going to have, just the basic necessities that you need to have a functioning household, right? So anything like that kind of stuff is going to come in handy for any of these people that have been affected by this. And so, as these guys said, obviously, we appreciate the support going directly to our boys, but don't forget that there are a multitude of other people out there, and they're in need as well. So let's make sure that we're supporting, everybody and spread some of this love out just a little bit.
Yeah, love it, absolutely. And Tyler's grandma, she knows that would definitely make Tyler and Matt, happy.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the kind of guys that both of those guys are, right? So we know that seeing other people benefiting from the goodwill going to them would make them incredibly happy.
Mm-hmm.
So we got sidetracked talking about garbage plates over here.
Nice.
As you do.
I got so much time for that.
I always have time for garbage plates.
So Anthony Palumbo, we got to ship him one. We're going to ship him a garbage plate.
Oh, yeah.
I guess he's only in Buffalo.
He's from
I don't
Buffalo
know why
area.
he can't drive. Like an hour and a half's not worth it for a garbage plate.
You know what? He just joined up as a member here. So
What?
next time he's down,
There
you
we
can
go.
grab a plate either from Ralph's
Yes.
or from the farm market.
They actually make really good. Both of
They
those places.
or from the Valhalla.
You know
Seriously,
what?
yeah.
I have never had a
There's
plate
three-
from as much as we eat at Ralph's. I've never had a plate.
There's
from
3 solid places to get plates right
Seriously.
here
Within
in good old Virgin,
I
sunny,
know what
22
we're eating for
short
lunch
range,
tomorrow.
sunny Virgin.
I know what we're eating for lunch tomorrow.
He also, Anthony says that is an event he would like to see: garbage plates and guns. The guns are not the only things gassed.
I like it.
I love it. I love it.
Gas it up and burn it down.
Cindy says that's an event she would skip, though. She's not going to go to that. We got a good group tonight. We got a very interactive group. I love it.
I like that too. Yeah, for
Absolutely love it. We've kind of slowed down on the questions. There is one. I feel bad we're getting it so late. Let me pull it up here. A gentleman asked, I asked for questions. I kind of I did the usual thing. I kind of forgot. I put a post out before the live stream reminding people of the live stream. And I said, hey, ask your questions here. We'll ask your question first. Well, we're asking it last. I'm sorry. But I think you'll understand. It's John DeWitt.
Yep.
What are your pistol red dot zeroing distances and holdovers, maybe at closer distances? And what is your choice for a red dot on a carry gun, if you would advocate for a red dot on a carry gun?
So first of all, I would totally, if you're,
yeah,
I would totally advocate for a red dot on a carry gun. As far as which one, listen, there are a ton of great ones out
really
there.
Good ones out there.
It would be very difficult for me to narrow down on one, and specifically for me, that's going to be hard because I don't have a lot of experience with like the Delta Point Pro. I don't have a lot of experience with the Trijicon, either ARM or MRO. Right, I don't have a lot of experience with even the hollow sun optics. Like I have a little bit more familiarity with the hollow sun optics, and honestly, based on some of the testing that I've seen out there and how much
really
I like their,
those. Yeah.
I really like their features. Right, I like the shake awake. I like the circle dot style reticles. I like the really fine 2-minute of angle. Reticles in there.
You can change the reticle.
I like the reticle changing ability, how it can be
yeah.
circle dot, or just the dot. I like the fact that it's got the solar ability, right? I like the shake awake. So for me, I think the Hollow Sun series, either the 507, 508, or 509, those are all very, very good optics. One of the ones that's impressed me since we've had it here is the Shield.
The Shield one,
yeah. These Shield SMS optics. This one's on the Hellcat. These guys have been in the market for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
These guys were one of the first people making optics this size for
London
pistols,
or somewhere over in
I think
GB?
Somewhere in Great Britain. Yeah. But yeah, the Shield series of optics. They've been making them a long time, and I like the reticle on this one. It's really fine. It's
very fine.
Very, very fine, and it's very, very crisp, and it's clean. There's no on-off on this.
Pattern on it.
Yeah, there. I don't get any halo.
On.
Yeah, it's always on. The one thing I don't like about it is, a couple small little quibbles I have. One is that it's always on. One that it doesn't have any kind of brightness adjustment to it, really.
And that you have to take it off to change.
You got to take it off to change the battery, which means you got to re-zero. Yeah. So those are kind of like my hang-ups there. In terms of SIG, also their line of electro optics, right? They've got a ton of them out there.
Pat, who's the one that Primary Arms made the reticle for? Was that on a Hollow Sun?
Yeah, they did an ACSS reticle for a Hollow Sun.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
So that one's pretty cool because it's got the fine dot in the middle and then a larger circle on the outside. So if you lose your sight alignment, you start to see the edge of the circle. So you know which way you have to
change your orientation of your
move
gun.
the gun to get back onto target, which is huge.
Yeah, because if you don't finish perfectly flat, for those of you guys that don't know, one of the reasons I haven't switched to a dot yet on any of my carry guns is because when I go to get that thing out, I don't always finish perfectly flat. So for me, I lose the reticle either high left or high right, or sometimes, it'll be in different locations. Then I got to play with the sight and try to get my alignment correct so I can actually see the reticle, right?
Yeah, and that's the hardest part is to get it out of the holster, and get used to getting that dot
and be
on target.
Because
now we're used to, looking for the front sight as we're coming onto target.
100%. So as far as zero distance, I just want to hit that last thing, zero distance. So I have been informed by guys that are way, way smarter than me, specifically the guys that taught the master pistol instructor course at SIG. So guys that I have trained with a bunch and really respect their knowledge. Their advice to me was, if you're going to put a dot on your pistol, go with a 15-yard zero, because if the near zero is 15 yards, you're only about an inch low from zero until the bullet is coming up into your point of aim or your line of sight, at 15 yards. So you kind of get that from an inch low to right on target in that 15-yard increment. And then the bullet is obviously going to go up very, very slightly because it's a pistol, but it's going to still be dead on at 50, right? So 15 and 50 is basically your point blank range at that point, right? So to be able to get good hits on the target from my muzzle all the way out to 50 yards with generally the same hold, plus or minus an inch, I think that's pretty good.
Nice. Yeah,
I think I sighted mine in for 25 on my 10 mil.
On a 10, yeah, that might make more sense on a 10,
Yeah.
just because you got a little bit more velocity. But if I was going like 9 mil on just a standard SIG P365 XL,
Yep.
1550 all day.
15 for the defensive guns, maybe 25 for something that you would use.
If I was going to use for hunting, for that application, probably a little bit.
Anthony, while we're on the topic of sights, any recommendations? He spelled recommendations wrong.
You had to call them out. Good.
Yep. Maybe first of all, would you put an LVPO on a Ruger PC9? And if you would, LPVO, that's the word.
Low power variable.
Low variably powered optic. I guess, would you put one of those on a Ruger PC9? And
probably
if
not.
you did, which one?
I probably wouldn't, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I don't need magnification at the distances that I'm going to be using that specific gun.
On a 9 mil.
I'm not gonna take a 9 mil deer hunting. Right, it's not going to happen. I don't have anywhere near the amount of energy I'm looking for. So I'm not going to get into any shooting situations. I'm not going to get into any shooting situations that are going to be long enough to require magnification with that PC9. Right.
Agreed.
For the intended purpose of that gun, Anthony, I'm probably not gonna fall into the camp of guys that would. If I were gonna do that, if I was gonna put any kind of like magnified optic or something, I might go with like a
probably.
prime. Well, I was thinking primary arms, Cyclops, 2 or 3 power,
2 to 3
with the ACSS reticle.
Yeah, I'd say
right?
maximum 3 power.
Right. So I would,
on something like that.
if you're looking for something with a little bit of magnification to it, go to the Primary Arms website, check out their Cyclops series of sights. They have, I believe, a 1, a 2, and a 3 power.
We were just looking at those the other day.
Yeah. And they're super neat scopes, relatively inexpensive. And if you perceive the need for some magnification for some visual reason or whatever you intend to use the gun for, I would say a 2 to 3 power Primary Arms, Cyclops is probably going to be a good fit for you.
I love it. Another question, state law, 10 rounds in a magazine.
Yes,
right?
That is correct.
When do you think that'll change, if it ever will?
When we win our lawsuit.
There you go. And they ask that since we're gun shop owners, do we get special privileges like being able to carry or own standard cap mags that aren't restricted to 10 rounds? Kind of yes and no. I don't know if you want me to jump in there.
Yeah, please
Like,
explain. You explain it better.
So kind of yes and kind of no. Like me personally, as the FFL, I don't get like special privileges. Like I don't get to walk around as a private citizen, maybe carrying where you wouldn't be able to carry. Or, I can't walk around with a Glock 17 with 17 round mags out in public, In fact, when you get your FFL, you get a bunch of memos that the ATF has issued out over the years clarifying questions like that. And one of them is very specific because people used to pull this back in the day, especially before the internet. I'm sure this was very common. If I have a federal license, that sounds pretty dang official and sounds pretty legitimate. And someone who's a smooth talker, it must have happened quite a bit because the ATF put a memo out saying an FFL is a dealer's license. It is not a concealed nationwide, like concealed carry license. It doesn't give you all these privileges and whatnot. Now, that being said, as a business, as an FFL, our enterprise here is exempt from certain laws like that. So do we have standard capacity 30, 40, 50, 60 rounders here, 100 rounders? Yes, we do. We, as many of you know, are a full SOT class 2 class 3 machine gun dealer, right? We can do whatever we want in that regard. We own suppressors, we own machine guns, we have that kind of stuff. Now, again, I don't want to say we like skirt that line, but we take full advantage of that. In fact, there was a time we decided to change this policy for various reasons, but there was a time you could come down and just rent a 30 round mag with a rifle and you could shoot it to your heart's content. This never happened. But our concern was that it would be easy for someone to swap out those magazines, like in the moment. And, when you bring us a gun back, we're not going to verify and we're not going to put 30 rounds back into it to make sure you didn't swap it out with your 10 rounder, So just, again, one of those things, we're always under the microscope here. So just out of an abundance of caution, we switched everything over to 10 rounders for you to rent. But say you rent one of our machine guns, which you can do here. If you want to shoot a machine gun, we don't advertise it as much maybe as we used to. Tyler was actually the big person that really pitched that. It was really only a weekend only thing with Ty. But that comes with a 30-round mag. You know what I mean? You're doing full mag dumps there. Eventually, we intend on having Polar Wave open as a full outdoor rifle range and tactical range. And yeah, we're going to have suppressors out there all the time, free to use, and machine guns and this and that. So, a long-winded answer, but kind of yes, kind of no. It doesn't give us any like extra individual rights that you don't have. But the business can have things, we get to play with things. We do have the opportunity to have things, that the general public doesn't have.
So in the context of doing our jobs, right, we have.
Exactly.
Good answer.
We had one more. Oh, can you shoot a 50 cal? And I'm assuming they mean 50 BMG. You shoot a 50 BMG in the range.
Not in the range.
Ballistically, I guess you could. We're rated
You
for
could
it,
handle
right?
it. It could handle it.
Yeah.
The
Like from the
noise.
backstop.
Yeah.
But there would be so much concussive force from that round being touched off inside a concrete box.
Yeah.
I've seen videos of other ranges doing it.
That's true.
I can't imagine that's pleasant.
That's true.
I think they're much wider. Like, I don't like talking about other ranges, but say like On Target, they have a very wide range, so you're not as enclosed, so that might be better. Our range is pretty skinny. It's only 26 feet wide.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I wouldn't do it.
And as somebody who's shot a fair amount of 50 BMG ammo in the course in my day, I would say that to do that in that environment, even doing it in like a machine gun turret of a vehicle has a certain amount, there's a certain amount of that energy that you feel more so, even though it's an open air type environment, if that makes sense. So when you're in that kind of environment and that energy is just it's just contained in that box, it would be awful. You would hate your life.
Yeah. Once we get Polar Wave up and running, we're going to shoot it out there all the time.
So if you've never shot one, we shot one, a few times because we all won. And the best way that I can describe it to you is if you're near somebody that is shooting it, the wave, it literally feels like somebody's hitting you in the face with a pillow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if Pat was shooting and I was right here.
It would be the same as if I just smacked him right in the face.
Now, I was at Knob Creek. This would have had to been like 4 years ago now. Last time I was at Knob Creek, somebody had a 20 millimeter Lottie out there, right? Like that's the next size up from a 50 BMG.
Right.
Same feeling, but I was like 100, maybe even 120 yards away.
Holy cow.
But I was looking like the angle I was at. I was like looking down the muzzle brake. It was like looking at me at that perfect angle. And yes, it just poof, and I was like, the F was that? Like, oh, Lottie, okay.
Wow.
Wild.
So that'll be the next Virginia rally that I go to.
Good.
I got to get one of those.
Carry
They're
that.
only like 120 pounds. So
that's not too
that's
bad.
easy. Yeah.
We'll get you there, stuff. Don't worry about it.
I don't think I told any of you guys yet. A guy on Instagram hit me up. He's trying to plan a rally in Georgia for the springtime. If knock on wood, if things open up, then we can do it. But he was like, I'd love to have you come down, have your guys come down from the shop. Like there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people out there that keep tabs on us. They just like what we're doing here behind enemy lines. So yeah.
Like the story that I told you the other day when I was trying to place an order from Rainier Arms.
Dude.
So
that's too cool.
I was trying to place an order from Rainier Arms, which is out in Washington.
Yeah.
Like Washington State.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
We were getting some lower parts kits, LPKs,
Nice.
as is custom. And there was an issue with the credit card going through, so I had to hop on the chat, right? So his name was Tyler, actually. He was helping me through the chat, right? And after we got done, he was about to sign off, and he goes, "Hey, well, I got you. Which one of you carried the 50 cal at the Virginia rally?" I was like, I was waiting for that. I was like, that's my buddy Brandon. I'll send you a couple stickers if you want. So he gave me his home address, and I sent him some official Bear Brandon TFP stickers.
So cool.
Yeah, that really put us on the map. Pretty neat.
That is super neat. Yeah, absolutely.
It was a lot of fun.
What else we got?
It was my pleasure. Well, that's kind of all we've gotten for questions.
Good.
We're at about an hour and a half. So
That's usually,
I think we did a really good job on the live stream tonight. It's our first one,
Back,
first one back. Yeah, we took a week break, as you know.
My first full one.
Yeah, Josh has always been popping in. This was Brian's first time as producer. I think he did great.
Yeah, Brian, thank you very much, man, for all your help. Great show.
I know, I don't know if Tyler was able to watch any of this live, but I'm sure at some point he'll rewatch it. So, hey, Ty, hey, wherever you are,
love you, buddy.
can't wait till he's back.
Yeah.
But
Can't wait to see it.
I think we had a great show tonight, guys.
Absolutely. Great show, boys.
Did we miss anything? We hit on time?
We hit
hit time, we hit the
Fundraiser?
TPG, we hit the
Let's-
ammo situation.
Let's talk one more time about GHA Services.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
GHA Services was a gold sponsor, I believe. Gold.
Yeah, because
Yep, a gold sponsor. Or no, platinum.
Oh, right, because
Platinum.
diamond.
Sorry, buddy. Platinum sponsor of our. We didn't really talk about the fun run.
Not too
I'll talk-
much.
yeah.
Tell
I'll
us
talk a
more
little
deets.
bit more about the 22 to none fun run. So, as many of you know, last year we raised almost $10,000 for Mission 22.
Yep.
Okay, which is a nationwide 501c3 not-for-profit that works to combat suicide rates among military vets. Correct.
Very important cause.
Pat, if you don't mind,
Oh.
can you just talk a little bit about why
How that kind of happened? Yeah.
kind of sat down to
Sure. Yeah.
make
absolutely.
that a thing? Because then we can segue into why we're having a second one.
For sure. So, as some of you guys know, I am a prior service military guy, right? Some of you guys call me a former action guy. So that's cool. Yeah, you got the joke. Good. All right. So, seven now. It's been 7 of the guys that I served with personally within my company, the 111th Engineer Company, Sapper, 1st Engineer Battalion out of the lovely Fort Riley, Kansas, 1st Infantry Division. In the time that I was in that unit from 2006 until 2012, I got an opportunity to deploy twice. After my first deployment, we lost 2 guys to suicide, like bang, bang, like right away.
Wow.
Right when we got back, we started losing guys to suicide. And during my tenure in the military, there were, 5 other guys, all of whom were people that I either served with, like served under directly, guys that were my supervisors, guys that were my subordinates directly, right? Guys that I went on deployments with, guys that I, got in gunfights with and all of that stuff. 7 of those guys aren't with us anymore because they lost the battle here at home, right? So with that in mind, the last one was last year, and it was my last platoon sergeant, the last platoon sergeant that I had as a squad leader. And so I came into work after I had gotten the news, and I was, of course, I was devastated, right? And I told Josh, I was like, man, it's too many, right? It's just 7 is a lot. I know a lot of you guys have lost, people to suicide and stuff like that. I don't know anybody else outside of my company. There are some other guys that served with all 7 of those guys as well, because we were all together for a while. But I don't know anybody else that's hit that number that I'm aware of. So that's a lot. And we wanted to do something to kind of obviously combat that for me and for my personal, connection to that, but also just in general, the number daily is 22, right? So there are
It's
probably
a little bit. It's actually now.
a little bit.
Now it's hovering around 20.
Right.
So it's gone because of things like this, which is awesome.
Things like this, yeah, and I think that there's a lot of great resources out there now
So-
to help. But yeah, so
we
just
care
wanna
about that so much.
Sure.
And I care about you, buddy.
Appreciate it, man. I care about you too.
We just had to do something.
Yeah.
Right.
And so we did, and we had a really successful event, and we had a great time putting it together. And again, the community support was outstanding.
Yeah, it was huge.
It was big. It was a great event. So obviously with COVID-19, we're not able to do the same kind of in-person event on the same scale. And we were really scratching our heads, how are we going to make this happen? And we found out that there were like virtual races where you could raise some money too. And so Josh put something together. Josh, why don't you talk about specifically the event that you put together for us?
Yeah. So obviously we can't do as much as we did last year. So we do have the virtual fun run going on. Again, this is going to happen on November 14th. Okay. You can sign up for the run. There's a $22 fee to sign up for the run.
Cool.
And basically what you do if you want to run is on that day or whenever you can, really, that week. It doesn't have to be that day. You can either walk or run a 2.2K, again, sticking with that 22, or a 5K. And basically, you just have to download your favorite fitness app and run or walk and, like post it online. So that's kind of how like the virtual run part works. If you don't want to run, you don't have to run. You can just kind of donate money.
Make a donation. That would be great.
So 22to-none.thefiringpinny.com. That is where you can register. That is where you can donate. That is where you can see more info about what's going on. And this year, all of the money is going to Operation Build Up, which a lot of you know is a local Rochester area place. And they work to provide free homes, free cars, free canines to struggling veterans and first responders to get them up off their feet again, right? Could you imagine, like you get home, you don't have a job, you're just trying to get back into civilian life. XYZ happens, you're homeless, you don't have a car, right? You're going to get pretty depressed, right?
Sure.
So if somebody came to you and gave you a car, now you can get a job. Now you can earn money. Now you can buy a house. Now you can support your family. So what they do is absolutely huge, and it's happening right here in the Rochester area. So that's why we chose Operation Build Up to receive all of the funds that we raise this year at the second annual 22 to 9. We have raised so far, thanks to places like GHA Services LLC, John Gotham, super cool guy. We have raised now almost $6,000 for them. So
that's
very cool.
That's a great start, and
Very
it's definitely
cool.
going to help them do a lot of really good things for to support their mission, right? So that's what it's all about.
Yeah, and one of the cool things about the site, if you go to that site, again, 22to-none.thefiringpinny.com, you can create your own fundraising page.
Oh, cool.
It's so cool. And you can join a team, right? So we've got our own team here, right? The TFP team. So you can promote it on your own. You can set your own goal. You can have people fundraise right to your page, and it becomes part of the larger donation process. So it's
awesome.
pretty neat.
Nice.
It's pretty neat.
That's super cool.
We do have to pay for that service, right? So, like some of the proceeds will go to cover costs, but, everything else is going to go right to Operation Build Up and hopefully help some struggling vets in our area.
I think that's perfect. Yeah,
Love it.
absolutely.
Love it.
I personally really like Operation Build Up. Not a lot of people know, but I was a volunteer firefighter in EMT for 9 years. I worked commercial ambulance for a couple of years and actually lost a captain and a mentor to suicide right here in Rochester.
Gotcha. Yep.
So it means a lot for me from that side too.
Perfect. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's a huge thing that they're doing. So we want to support them.
Absolutely. Yeah, so I know I'll be running the 5K. I don't have time for 2.2. I was a little bit annoyed last year.
A K is less than a mile, right?
Is it? kilo miles, thousands of miles.
Some weird Euro measurement.
Oh, well, screw it. That. I don't, who needs
You
that?
run 5 freedoms.
Yeah. five Budweisers per freedom equal. That's what I'm going to run.
5. There's countries that went to the moon and countries that did.
5 back-to-back World War champs. That's what I'm going to run.
Perfect.
Oh, man. Awesome. Well, hey, that probably does it for tonight.
100%.
Right?
That's
Thank you
everything
so
I wanted
much.
to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody seems like they're going to bed.
We covered a lot of good stuff.
Good
Yeah.
deal.
Good
Great
show.
show, everybody. Thank you guys for watching.
And thank you to those of you who watch later.
Oh, yeah.
That's where-
Some of you guys can't watch it live. Right?
Yeah, that's where we get a lot of our views from,
Love it.
the
Yeah.
later grammars.
Yeah, definitely share if you enjoy the show, guys. Obviously, I'm always trying to increase our viewership number. I know that on the live stream it can be difficult sometimes to get those numbers up, but hopefully you guys will be watching it, after the fact and learning some more about some of the stuff that we're doing here, to include all the great fundraising efforts and all the charitable stuff that we try to do, but also, some of the training opportunities that we're trying to bring to you guys as well. So
Love
thanks
it.
for everything.
Great job.
Nice, guys. Have a good one, everybody.
Night, guys.